Hello, I want to discuss the golf shaft extractor we manufacture here at Holtzman Engineering. What it is, it's an annular cylinder and piston. There's a hole in the annulus that will pass most grips. Maybe a jumbo might not go through it, but about any grip will go through the center of the annulus. And it comes with a slotted washer that goes on your shaft. And in the piston, there's a little counter bore so the slotted washer will nest in there. It comes with an industrial-shaped male airline coupling. If you have a different shape from industrial is the most common, but if you have something else, you'll have to get your own male fitting. It comes with a shaft clamp and a T. Okay, the principle of operation of this thing is there's 3 holes in this extractor that are designed to make this thing work the best it can. First, the inlet hole that feeds the air into the cylinder is it's rather small, okay? And then in the back of the cylinder there is what we call a bleed hole. And these 2 holes are sized such that when the bleed hole is open and when you have air pressure on the cylinder, there's not much force being exerted. About 50 pounds of force is all that's being exerted by the extractor. And then when you seal off the bleed hole, like for instance by sticking a T in it, then you pressurize the cylinder fully and you'll get your full extraction force. Now the cylinder has about 6 square inches of area. So if you have 100 psi of air pressure, you have about 600 pounds of force. If you have 120 psi of air pressure, you have about 720 pounds of force. And then the third hole is what we call a vent hole. And this vent hole, once the cylinder moves about 3/10 of an inch, the vent hole opens. And this is to drop the pressure in the cylinder once the piston moved so far. And this helps smooth extraction. Now what has happened occasionally, it happens rarely, maybe 1 out of 50 or whatever, the head will release rather suddenly and it'll go a couple feet or whatever. So you want to plan on that. You want to we recommend basically like a box of rags or something here that would basically catch this head. You don't want the head hitting and falling off on the floor and dinging up your paint. It normally maybe will just fall off or just stays on the shaft, but you want to plan on it coming off and going a couple of feet. So just plan on that. Okay, then as far as the heating is concerned, we have 2 heat sources we recommend. One's a propane torch. We recommend this for anything that's not painted. What we want to do, in my opinion, is we want to heat this as rapidly as possible. Some people say, oh, you want to heat it slowly. Well, if you heat it slowly, everything's going to be at the same temperature. But what you want is you want to get the hosel the hottest, and the epoxy's got to get to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit to soften. And then you want if it's a graphite shaft especially, you want it to be the lowest temperature. So we want to heat rapidly in order to minimize the shaft temperature. And also then, one minor detail, we talk about long and short hosel woods. This is what we call a long hosel wood. The shaft goes into a hosel about 1.1 to 1.2 inches typically. Now this hosel is long enough that you can get heat all around and get heat down to the bottom of the shaft. But I've had couple of heads here, driver heads, where there's only a real short hosel. About half the shaft is down inside the head. It's very difficult to get the heat down to it. So there's a little different schedule for that if you run into that situation. Okay, then as far as how we're going to do this, I've already got this set up, but you put the clamping cushion on the shaft. First of all, you slide the extractor on the shaft over if you have a grip on it or without a grip. And then you put the clamping cushion on the shaft, and then the slotted washer. Now you want to make sure the slotted washer, you want this to be tight against the shaft. That helps align everything. And then you nest the slotted washer inside the cylinder, and then you pull everything this way, tighten everything up, and tighten your vise, and everything's ready to go. So in this case, our recommendation is 15 to 20 seconds of heating with the propane torch. Now, we're going to do that without the airline attached. Now the reason we do that is these heads are usually stainless steel or titanium, and neither one of those metals are very good conductors of heat. So it takes a while. We did a lot of testing here where we put thermocouples down inside the hosel to see what's going on with the temperatures. And basically, we recommend a preheat sort of, and then a little bit of a soak time, 5, 7, 8 seconds, and then a reheat, okay? So during this soak time, you have the time to hook up your airline and then start reheating. And then after we start reheating, we're going to start tapping on this bleed hole. Now what that's going to do is going to impact this head. It's like an impact wrench. It's going to hit it, release it, hit it, release it, hit it, release it. And we found that to be a little more effective in removing the head than just a steady pressure. Okay, so I'm going to fire up the propane torch, give it about, I'm just going to give it about 10 seconds of heating, and go from there. Now I'm going to hook up the airline, and I'm going to start reheating and start tapping, and it comes off. Okay, if you have any questions, you can contact us at our website. The website is www.holtzmaneng.com.